problem with a lot of concrete repairs is they don't make a sort of like neutral concrete repair kit. Kind of two types. The concrete repair, which is a dark concrete, where the colour obviously doesn't matter for bridges, sewers, underground, pillars, anything like that. That's very dark. Or there's the sort of concrete drive repair, very white. I think it's just they've concentrated on it being pliable and flexible and easy to use, and that's normally very white. There isn't an in-between, and that's where I got thinking, can I mix a light one with a dark one and get it to sort of a mid-grey, so it will match most like UK or, well, any country's concrete drives, concrete paths, concrete whatever, It doesn't have to be exact. You don't know, it's not like wallpaper or painting your house. You don't have to get it exact, but you don't want it to be too different, especially if you're just doing a hole or a little section where then the kind of match is more important. In my case, I'm doing both. I'm doing a concrete repair and then it's going to get an overlay, a recover. Obviously, filling the hole itself, the colour isn't important. So in this video, I'm experimenting with different proportions. The first proportion I make is more of the structural. This is where I'm going to fill the hole. But I'm curious. It's a test, if you like, just to see how pliable it is, to see how, what the workability is like. And also, does it set? I mean, remember, these are two totally different compounds, and sometimes they can cancel each other out. It might not cure. They might not want to work together. So there's that test as well. But basically, I'm deliberately adding more dark than I need for the structural hole. And I want to see how it lightens when it, obviously they lighten up when they cure. I want to see how much it does lighten. So that'll give me an idea what proportions I need for when I mix the cover coat. And on the cover coat, I'm more interested in the colour, but there's all this testing to do anyway. So in this video, we're going to show how to mix two concretes, a light and a dark, to get somewhere in between. You can sort of like mess about with yourself and get a decent match. And also, I'm doing a recover, an overcover, resurface, whatever you want to call it. It's a double tutorial, really. If you're just doing a repair, fill a hole in or fix a corner that's maybe fell off, or all you would do, is I don't show it in the video, is let it set for about an hour, wet it slightly and go over with a trowel, and then leave it. Yeah, don't expect to get it absolutely flat polished perfect. It's not plaster, remember. And the other thing, don't keep going over it and over it like you would what you can with plaster. Plaster, it doesn't matter how many times you go over it, really. You can't sort of ruin it, as long as you keep wetting it. It sort of brings it back to life, the water. But with concrete, that doesn't happen. You stop it wanting to cure. Careful, if you do that, it won't set and cure like solid and last forever. It will start to crumble and start to have faults. It'll start to break down one way or another. So just bear in mind, you can't do that with concrete. It's got to be bone dry like this. Now with a tiny little there, so I've got to wait a couple of hours for that to dry out. Could put a heater on it or something, but it's got to be like this. It doesn't have to be this colour, but it can't be that colour. So I've just got a couple of hours to wait, and then we'll go. What I've done is I've dusted it all down and get every bit of dust out, and then mark the area. You can see I've marked the area. There's a little bit of a dip in here. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to take the chance to get this dip out, because the water collects here. And you can see that bit of a dip. So I've marked it in pencil there. And while I'm doing that, it's a little bit of a dip this way as well. And I've also marked here, this is also a little bit of a dip here. So from there, put a mark there. Put a little pencil mark there again. It doesn't, I just want to go no higher, yeah. This isn't a finished coat, so it's not critical. I just want to fill that in. I don't want to use my finished coat to fill this in, because it's going to use up too much material. And so when I come to do the top coat, it's all the same thickness, and I'm not using up loads of material, filling gaps up. That's not what you want. About 8 to 9% cementing your SBR. Give it a good stir with a brush. This is just after I've done it. You'll get some deeper pools in the bottom. Sort of move your brush in and pull it out with your brush and put it on the top. Make sure it goes all around the sides. You've got a little bit of overlap. The idea is to stop any water going in. As you can see, I've done that, ready to fill that in. Now we have to wait for this now to set. Now make sure your brush is dry. Do that, you see. Pull it out and put it on the side. Anyway, you can see like that, look. All different directions. You will get little pools falling, obviously and the liquid goes down. Just get it out, put it onto the side, and overlap round. Happy with that. Otherwise, when you everywhere will dry but the bottom, so you take twice as long. Happy with that, happy with that, happy with that. Just have to wait half an hour for it to dry and then we're off. This is the SBR. Now it's expensive and it's vital. Even though the concrete I'm using, it says that you don't need any primer, still use a primer. The reason being is because it's like a pothole on a road. They repair them and in months they just become a hole again. And the reason being is because the material hasn't adhered to the side of the pothole. You can't expect cement to adhere to something which is broke. You've got to make the side, if you imagine the hole, if that was a hole, the sides, you've got to make them good. You've got to also stop water getting in, water penetration, because you could have, if that's the side of a pothole, you've got cement there and you've got your new cement here. This is inside the hole. Any water or anything that can, moisture can just get into this crack. It'll crack and it'll start to do its horrible work. And you've got to stop that. You've got to make sure that crack's fully sealed, if you like. The materials are bonded, like welded together, literally like you would have two metals. That's a good way of putting it. You want to try and weld the two concretes, and this makes that happen. Right, that's it there. I mean, the rest of it's very good. It's very smooth, you see, once it's dry, and your trowel goes over it. Very, very nice, before you start, pick off any little bits of grit. The repair concrete's dark silker. It's a structural one. This is more an English like repair one from Wicks. It's the most popular one you can get, but it's too white. I mean, where it is white, but why I've got the chance, I want it to be more grey. I want it to be more of a match. Mostly this, maybe it's about 4 parts to 1 part, but we'll try. We'll see what it looks like. Guessed it just right. It was just a guess, just from years of experience. Right, I was about that for quality control. I've flattened that out and it's perfect, and I haven't even had to grab any from there and there. So we'll spread them out now. Don't go over it and over it, because it will start pulling. Cement, any cement doesn't like being pulled and pulled and pulled. You've got to not get it perfect, just get it flat. So I'm using the sides to go over it and go in different directions and just get it flat. Same with that. Happy with that now. Same with that. The edge, it doesn't dry too quickly. You'll be surprised even when you put the SBR on. Obviously it wants to dry, and that's another reason you don't feather it too much. If you feather it too much, it's going to dry and crack. And keeping a little bit of thickness. And I'll do exactly the same thing when I come to overlap this edge. I'll leave it about 5 or 6 mil on the edge, so it'll be 10 mil here. From about 60 mil, it'll feather down to about 4 or 5 mil, just like that. Resist the temptation to keep going over it, Just let it dry like that. 2 days later. Dry. She's done. She is done. Colour I'm more than happy with. It's a typical cement colour. A little bit lighter than average, I suppose, just a tad, a shade, but